Thanks for coming, everyone. Today we have Ria Ruthsatz, sorry. And the presentation is Lights, Camera, Brand. Ria is an award-winning director and the co-founder and executive producer of Tree 9 Films. It's a St. Louis-based commercial film production company. She has produced and directed films for a diverse clientele ranging from nationally recognized brands to local businesses, schools, and nonprofits. Ria's work has garnered recognition through various awards, including a regional Emmy, and she's proud to have produced fundraising films that have successfully raised millions for vital causes on a global scale. She does have her roots in St. Louis, though. Ria is an advocate for creativity and expanding opportunities for people to explore alternative career paths. She reintroduced the 48-hour film project to St. Louis and believes in celebrating and recognizing the immense talent in our own backyard. So, Ria, I will hand it over to you.
Hi, everyone. Hi, I know you. Thank you for joining me here today. We're going to unpack video marketing and really go over the basics. I'm actually really excited that this is kind of an intimate venue, guys, so feel free to interact. If I'm saying something and you have a question, raise your hand and let's dig in. If it gets really specific into your brand, we'll just save it for afterwards. But I really would like participation. I think that's great. Let's see. Here's what we're going to do today. First, we're going to unpack why video marketing is important, right? Why it's uniquely important to your brand and how it can help you. Then we're going to go over viewing platforms. So there's lots of places to post your video, and we're going to dig into some of the specifics of each one of them and why it might appeal to your audience. And then ways to tell your story. And this is the big one, right? How are you going to choose, which way are you going to choose to tell your story on camera? Now, I understand that as a founder, I founded my own company. The hope is not that you will be filming your own videos and posting to your own social media all day, every day. I also know that on our entrepreneurial journey that there are moments when you are exactly that person and probably 8 other employees. So, been there, done that. I continually go back there and do that. So I get it. My hope today is that I can demystify this a little bit for you so you can spend more time doing the work that is actually important to your startup and less of the marketing stuff that maybe is a shot in the dark, so that you can do that while also continually effectively engage your audience. Good? All right. This way. Here are some of the clients that I've worked with. You can see they range, just like in my bio, from national brands to local schools and nonprofits and everything in between, because everyone needs video, right? I say I'm a commercial filmmaker, and that's a really, really broad term, right? So that can range from anything from a broadcast spot playing in Times Square to a Snapchat campaign, everything in between. It really just means that I don't do weddings and I don't do movies. I'd be open to that, but not the wedding part. Now, I am extremely fortunate to work with a band of creatives who are really passionate about what they do, right? Cameras, lighting, audio. Me, though, I am personally more passionate about what video can do as a whole, right? How a story translates through the lens. And actually, my favorite part of film production is the first meeting with the client. When you sit down and you talk about what are your goals, how can video serve you? Guys, I'm hilarious. Have you heard? Okay. It's cool, you can laugh. I like it. When it comes to solving that mystery, right? Because it is a mystery, like how do you reach your audience? My method, I'm gonna get it eventually, is to observe and amplify. So I observe all the good, all the bad about a brand, not as myself, not as the brand, but as their ideal client. And then figure out how to amplify that good. And sometimes that can mean getting into the mindset of like a 13-year-old girl trying to choose the right high school, right? There's a lot of choices. What is going through her head in that moment? Or it can mean getting to the headspace of a homeowner whose AC broke and they don't know who to call. That one's easier for me. It can also mean looking at a nonprofit from the perspective of a donor, or a startup from the perspective of an investor. And then you take all those observations, which honestly look really different when you look at them as your ideal client than as yourself, and you amplify the things that matter to those people. Now, I will spend hours digging into a brand's current marketing, their past marketing, their competitors' marketing, their audience, and how their audience is relating to different things. I did not do that for all of you here today. Today, you guys get to be the detectives. And this guy in the back, I already know what he does. Camp Bow Wow. Does anyone else want to share? What do you do? Somebody. I'd love to have 2 examples. Yes?
Hi everyone, my name is Dion Motley. I am a financial coach.
A financial coach, awesome. I love that. We have 2 very different examples. So today, I want you to be thinking about your own brand, but I'm going to keep calling on you guys. We have Camp Bow Wow. We're talking about dogs, right? Doggy daycare, okay? And then a financial coach.
Yes.
Yes, okay. Love it. Very different. There are a ton of different kinds of videos that I'm sure all of you could be using. For today, though, we're going to focus on a brand video, sometimes known as a mission video or a brand introduction video. The questions that you ask yourself for that, you can apply to anything else later on. But at some point, everyone should have a brand video. I'd love to start with a show of hands here. How many of you are already doing video and just crushing it? Okay, hey, that's cool. All right. I wouldn't raise my hand either. How many of you are testing the waters but maybe haven't hit your sweet spot yet? Awesome. Couple. Who's absolutely terrified and doesn't know where to start? Okay. Is there anyone here who does not think they need video? You can be a success without it. No? I love you guys. All right. When I started my company over 10 years ago now, I would walk into every meeting with a client and I would have to spend like the first 20 to 30 minutes convincing them why video was useful and why they needed it. I don't have to do that anymore. Now I find everyone knows that they need it, but they don't know why. I don't know why this is a little crazy here. There we go. I think the why is really important because video is going to be investment, right? Whether you choose to do it yourself and it's an investment of time, or you have somebody else do it, it's an investment of your finances. You should know why you're doing it. Don't just do it because everyone else does. Here are some whys, in case you need them. It can introduce your brand, promote your product, and educate your audience. It is so flexible. It does so many things, and there are more places to play video now than ever before. I love to say that video allows you to show who you are, but also who your client is when they work with you, right? So they get to see themselves too. It fosters engagement and motivates consumers to click, share, and buy. Thanks to social media, your viewer can take immediate action, whatever it is that you want them to do. It's cost effective, super, super scalable. Right? You can take the same script and make a film for $5,000 or $50,000. And sure, the $50,000 script, it might have a great location and a CGI dinosaur. And the $5,000 one, you might have a guy on the street corner in an inflatable dinosaur suit. But hey, that might resonate with your audience better, right? To me, video is the great equalizer. You no longer have to have the money to afford a Super Bowl ad. You just have to get your ad in front of your audience. And that's pretty easy today. Now, obviously, I believe in the power of video, but I do not want you to take my word for it. Here are some facts. They're pretty awesome. Feel free to take pictures. I'm not going to go over each and every one. But the gist here is that people will retain more information when they've watched a video. They're more likely to share it and more likely to open your email. Good? All right. They're going to stay on your website longer if there's a video, and they're more likely to buy. Most people are actively looking for videos when they want to make a purchase, right? They want to see that product or mission in action. And if you have videos, you're going to generate income faster than those who don't. All right, so now you know you need video, you know why, now what? The first step to implementing your video marketing is to consider the who, the what, and the where. Who is your audience? Get really, really specific, like absurdly specific. Are they men? Are they women? Are they dog owners? What kind of dog do they own? The more you know about that audience, the better. What's your goal? Do you want them to click, share, buy? All of the above. And finally, where are they? Your answers to who and what are going to influence your where. Because depending on where you choose to post your video, they're going to be more likely to do one of the things that is your goal, right? Click, share, or buy. Every platform inspires a different action. One of the biggest things that I run into is that people understandably want to make one video and share it to every platform and have it be a massive success. By all means, share it to every platform. But design your video for the platform where your audience most likely is and where they're most likely to take the action that you want them to. Now, we're going to dig into the platforms now. This comes with a huge, huge caveat. I think when you're talking about anything creative, in the art world, in the film world, there are no rules, only guides, okay? I think that goes double, triple for social media. No rules, only guides. Apps change every day, devices change, people get tired of seeing the same old thing, and you have to break the mold. The information I'm about to show you is all based on yesterday's data, which probably means it's already out of date. It's enough to work with though, okay? And when you choose to either go this route and choose the platform that definitely works for you, or you choose to go crazy, and even though you're marketing to grandma, you're gonna put your videos on TikTok, I want that to be a choice that you made with intention and not just a happy accident, because you're gonna reach those grandmas on TikTok and you're the only one doing it, okay? There's a method. Okay, broadcast. This is what most people think of when they think of video, first thing that pops into your head. For our purposes today, broadcast is gonna include TV as well as streaming. So like when you're watching Amazon or Hulu, those ads that pop up and interrupt your viewing, that is me at work. Yeah, next time you can appreciate it a little bit, that 15 seconds I worked really hard on. This is usually the most expensive way to go. Streaming has brought that cost down a little bit, but the nice thing here is that this still reaches the most audiences. People always say broadcast is dead, or at least they do in my industry. It's not. It still reaches the very most people with the widest age range. It reaches people who are not prevalent on social media. Also, studies show that if you have a broadcast spot, you are more likely to build not only brand recognition, but trust. Because think about it, any of us can film something on our iPhone and throw it up on Facebook, right, and make an ad. If you're on TV, we trust that you're a legitimate brand. Whether we're thinking about it or not, you're like, they're real, right? They're not scamming me. Maybe? Facebook. It's another big one. So the users here skew a little bit younger. These folks are 5 times more likely to watch your video on their phone. You gotta think, right? Horizontal for TV, vertical for Facebook. They're also 85% more likely to watch your video with the sound off. So, yeah. So that means exciting visuals or captions are super necessary. 15 to 90 seconds performs really well here. And it's a great option for marketing because it's pretty cost effective. Instagram, we're skewing a little bit younger here, 18 to 34 years old. They're still watching on their phones vertically with the sound off. The videos that perform better are a little shorter though, 3 to 60 seconds. The thing about Instagram though is that people on Instagram are more eager to buy. They're going there to shop because it's so visual. Okay, I got you. Yes? Oh, I can provide something, yeah. Yeah, we haven't talked about that, but yes, I'd be happy to. In case you didn't hear her, she just asked if I'd provide the slides afterwards, and I'm happy to do that.
I just have a question.
Yeah, jump in.
I know you went from Facebook to Instagram, but I always thought the Facebook audience was a bit older.
It is,
So
it
I'm
is.
surprised to see that the average is like
So
in that range.
what I'm showing you is the most prevalent age group,
Got it.
but they do have a larger, older audience than Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So again, these are really, really the basics, but yes, deep dive.
Yesterday's information, so it's
That too. Snapchat, we're getting even younger. Still vertical, but they're listening with the sound on. This is a big difference. And with only 3 to 5 seconds, you've got to make that sound count. We actually just did a series, like a campaign for Snapchat for a local high school, and it did really, really well because that's where 13-year-old girls are. Yeah. So again, important to know your platforms. Also, surprisingly, on here, 23% higher brand recall, right? Just goes to show you that the length of your film does not matter if you're in the right place, reaching the right people. They're going to remember you. TikTok. Is anyone here marketing to children? Okay. Oh, all right, we got one.
in my nonprofit.
Yeah.
We serve high school age girls.
Okay.
Yeah.
TikTok's a great place for you then. 1 in 4 TikTok users are under 20 years old, right? They're babies on there. I never know what to say about TikTok because they're always threatening to get rid of it, right? But the Gen Z users on TikTok, though, are really, really eager to buy stuff or possibly get engaged with a mission, right? So it is a really great place to reach younger folks. Yeah.
Or I can't wait till you finish.
No, you got a question about TikTok?
Just social media in general.
Mhm.
So with video, with what I do,
Mhm.
it's a service.
Okay.
So you're more likely to record large portions and then break it down for each platform.
We're going to talk about that later for sure.
For example, so I'm in the beauty industry and I've been on like this global beauty tour.
Okay.
I've been traveling to all these different countries and documenting my experience for social media. What has been exhausting is to record the same thing like this, and then I have to turn it like this, and I have to do it like this, because I never know how I'm going to chop it up for different platforms.
Yes.
And you don't have to answer it now, but at some point, can you explain how to get over that hurdle? Because now I have like literally 3 years worth of content now from all these places, I've been, and I don't even want to look at it.
I don't blame you. Yeah. So we'll touch on some things later on. There's an app for you that you probably want to check out, and I'll talk about that. But again, like I said earlier, focus on the platform that is the most important to you, right? And if it's vertical, sorry, it's vertical, right? And if you post the vertical video to a platform where vertical is not preferred, that's okay because you're reaching them on that platform. So I would commit to one. But we'll talk more about it later. LinkedIn. I don't think people talk about this one enough. I love LinkedIn. So you can see the users skew a little bit older. They're also higher income and higher education. 4 out of 5 of LinkedIn's 900 million users, 900 million, 4 out of 5, drive business decisions. That's huge, okay? This is the biggest platform for B2B marketers, and it really doesn't get talked about enough. Now, they are still watching on their phones at the office with the sound off, but they're willing to watch longer, like 1 to 3 minute videos perform here. They also prefer more authentic, less commercial videos, because here's the thing, on LinkedIn, they're watching to learn. They're not watching for enjoyment, right? Silly cat videos don't perform on LinkedIn. Things that are teaching you something do, right? So product demonstrations, knowledge shares, essentially. And because everyone on LinkedIn wants to be a thought leader, these videos get shared a lot. Okay, so if you're not doing LinkedIn, gotta get on that. YouTube. This again seems like an obvious one to me, but not everyone posts their videos to YouTube. YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. The only thing crazier than that, though, is that only 9% of US small businesses are actively using it for their brands. 9% of US small businesses use YouTube for marketing. Yeah. Right? You could raise that to 10%, like really quickly, guys. Just everybody in this room, get on there. Tutorials, explainer videos, product demonstrations, these perform really well. This is the only platform where people are going and actively looking for longer form content. So start there. Okay. Don't forget your website. A lot of brand videos are designed specifically for websites, right? Just to introduce you. And the perk of that is that people will spend more time on your page if there's a video. And because Google is tracking our every move, you rise in the rankings. Everybody wins. Finally, your event. Startups, this is great for you because you might have events where there are potential investors or stakeholders, right? And this is a great way to get everybody really hyped. We actually just did one recently for like a national HVAC company, without naming them. And it was just a woman doing sort of beat poetry about HVAC. And it was the entrance video to their conference. And it's got everybody super pumped for what they do, which is HVAC. And it showed what they do in sort of a new, beautiful, poetic light, right? And it was really inspiring to them. So,
Can you go back to the YouTube?
yeah,
I mean, not YouTube, website.
website. You got it.
Thank you. And then YouTube.
Okay. I love it. I'm all about pictures, guys. I'll stop anytime.
It says your event.
You want, which one?
The YouTube one.
There we go.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you have them all now?
I do.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. All right, so hopefully you have sort of a sense for your platform now. And once you're done with that and you know I'm making it for Instagram, I'm making it for Facebook, or I'm gonna post it everywhere no matter what Ria says, then you've got to decide who can tell your story. And there's a lot of different companies will say this differently. I like to say who can tell my story. It's also breaks down into like different types of videos and such, but I find this is the easiest way to talk about it. And again, it could be specific to a certain campaign or a product launch, but again, for today, we're talking about a brand video and how do you introduce your brand, right? So who's introducing you? Here are some possible storytellers. I'm going to walk through these, and then I want to think about our example folks here. So maybe it's you, right? Maybe your brand video, you need to make a personal connection with your audience. Maybe you're going to be working directly with them, and so it's important to have that introduction. Maybe your why is a really personal one, right? Maybe something happened in your life, and this is why you decided to start this company, and that's going to inspire people to work with you. It's also possible that your brand is bigger than you. Maybe they're not going to see you or work with you, right? And then you might want to think about clients. So clients can look a lot of different ways, right? You could do client testimonials, right? I've been here, this place is so awesome, I love it. Or you can do something that we call unbranded videos, right? Large brands do these a lot, like Vans Shoes does these, right? Like, here's this really cool surfer, he's out living his life, he's so awesome. By the way, he was wearing Vans shoes the whole time, right? It tends to be easier for brands where you recognize the product. But even if your product is not recognizable yet, if your client has a really inspiring story that somehow ties into who you are, this is still a great avenue to go because it's super shareable. It doesn't feel salesy, and people love to share a good story. Product. Now remember we said people are watching with the sound off. And also shorter videos are performing well. So maybe you're overthinking it, right? Trying to tell a long story. Maybe your product is the story. Restaurants are a great example of this, right? I'm not gonna say we don't care about the owner's story or if other people like the restaurant, but when you think about it, the dish comes out and you see the atmosphere and the lemon squeeze and the drink on the table, right? That's all you need to take that next step, to take that action, which is go and try the food yourself, right? So they can disregard those and just focus on the product. This is also great if you have a product that maybe needs a little bit of explaining. A while back there was like a purse that inundated my Instagram nonstop, and it was like, here's all these amazing pockets and you can fit everything in this bag, and it's for the woman on the go. They didn't say anything. I interpreted all of that. It was just a video of a purse with a lot of pockets, okay, right? That's all they needed. I was hooked, I was sold. And then finally, maybe you need to bring in reinforcements, right? Maybe you need to hire actors and have a location and script the whole shebang. Luxury brands do this a lot. So think about like a fragrance commercial, right? Here's this sexy guy, he's walking through the desert. I guess he smells good. I don't know. We can't smell him. But they have figured out, right, that their market is so saturated that them just saying like, hey, the notes of this fragrance are this and that, nobody cares anymore, right? They have created a world where you want to be as cool as that guy in the desert. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, right. We're just driving around, looking cool, yeah. And then if you really sit back and think like, that car's not cool at all, right? Yeah. They created a world, and sometimes that's really important. And again, sometimes it's because the market is oversaturated, like cars or fragrance. Sometimes it's because no one knows what the heck your product is, right? And so you have to show them the world in which it exists. Guys, I totally lost my place. This is great. No, I love that. Actually, I have an example. So we did a commercial at City Park before it opened. So in the weeks leading up to its opening, we were shooting this commercial, and we're like, hey, what do people wear to soccer games? I mean, you could research other places, but like City Park didn't exist yet. We didn't have that information. And we're like, what do the employees wear at City Park? So we have all this questions that we're sending up the ranks, right, to City Park. And they're like, well, we don't know what the employees wear yet. And we don't really know, like, they didn't have answers to any of that. And so we had to create this environment at City Park of what we imagined it would look like when it was wildly successful. We did a pretty good job. It looked pretty real. But even that, it's like, our costume designer had to be like, well, we're going to put them in gray polos with a patch that says City Park. And that was a big decision that had not actually been made yet. So creating that world can be really big or really small and involve ironing on patches. You can also do a combination of all of these things, right? So I'm trying to think of a good example. So I just wrote a script. I won an Emmy for it. It's exciting. But we combined, thank you. I'm just telling you that so you know it was a good one. But we combined talent and clients for that. And so what I did was I wrote a script using what the clients had told me about this company. And then we cast it, but we cast it with members of their company, right? So you can, all of these sort of ebb and flow, right? You don't have to keep them all in their own boxes. Yeah?
So what's the equivalent of the demonstrate product for service? Or is there one?
Yeah, so not everyone is going to fit in every category. You probably, if it's a service, and I don't know what your service is, but here, so let's break down Camp Bow Wow. So we'll get to that. Camp Bow Wow probably fits in all of these categories, right? So I'm sure you have a story about why you started it. I'm sure your clients love it and have lots of stories about their dogs, which would probably resonate really well, right? Because people love dogs. Your product is your space, right? So you could do just a video of dogs having a great time in the space, and that would be awesome. And then you could set a scene of, I don't know, some crazy reason why a dog owner has to bring their dog in, right? Like their house has been destroyed, but when they take their dog to Camp Bow Wow, that doesn't happen anymore. Whatever, you can make it funny or you can make it serious. So you can use every category. Now you have a service-based business.
Service and product.
So, okay, so you have a product, okay. So we're gonna not talk about your product right now. Okay, axe that product. Again, you probably have a personal story. Your clients probably love you, right? Success stories, especially when it comes to finances, amazing. Now, disregarding your product for the moment, do you sit down with your clients?
Yeah, so there's
What?
services,
Yeah.
group coaching, classes, cohorts.
Okay.
workshops.
Yeah. So probably not as effective. And again, this is how you're going to narrow down. You could show you giving a class. You could show you sitting down with your client. Like that would be your product. But you're going to have to make a decision, like what's going to be more effective. Like sure, you could show that, but these two are probably going to be way stronger for you as a service-based business. Or again, the talent. Now, remember I said video is really scalable. I say usually, talent is going to be the most expensive, right? You're bringing on people, you're scripting, there's locations, all the fun stuff. Product is usually going to be the most economical because, again, it's all focused on something that you already have, probably in your own environment. You can probably have a smaller crew for that. And I say usually because I've seen them flip-flop. So there are no rules. Yeah. I think that really depends on the client. So I've had people mix their own personal stories in with their client stories. So you really just have to decide what's the most important to that brand.
So you think that one could be effective on its own as well based on?
Definitely. Yep. In fact, we did a commercial for St. Louis Children's Hospital and the Miracle Network, and we told the story through a child, right? So a patient and their family. And we chose that route because that's really effective, right? Because the people who are watching it probably have a child who is sick, who are considering like all the ramifications of what that means and how is it going to feel for that child to be in the hospital. Way more effective than a doctor being like, this hospital is better than the guys down the street, right?
Can I add something?
Yeah.
Too, because I'm in finances, what was important in the beginning was for me to share my story and my own success story. And that's what brought people to me. It became, oh, well, I've worked with this client. She's also debt free. And you know,
Yeah.
so it's like an evolution.
That's a good point. It can shift. Yeah. Yeah. So whichever one you choose, or some combination of all of them, these are the points that you're going to want to cover no matter what. Now keep in mind, it's video, right? It's a visual world. You do not have to say all of these things. You just have to leave your viewer with a sense of the answer. So your mission, obviously, who are you? What are you all about? Your service and or product, what the heck do you do? How does it work? Your differentiator, right? Are you cheaper, smarter, more fun than the other guys? Who is your ideal customer? This one is important. People crave community. Do they see themselves in your video? Is your community one that they want to be a part of, right? Like the car commercials? Or is it one that they're already a part of, right? So they identify, like overworked moms. What's the problem you solve? How do you make their life better? And then what's your impact on your customer and the community? This is a big one, and it usually scares my clients, but it is my favorite one. No answer is too big or too small here. Every brand has impact. It doesn't matter what you do. So maybe your product gives overworked moms more time in their day. Okay, that's great, but meh, what? What now? I want to know, what does she do with that time, right? What's the ripple effect of your product? And that's what makes it big, and that's what touches the community. Now, we all have that friend, parent, aunt who goes on vacation, right, and brings home a ton of photos and wants to go through every single photo of their vacation, right? It's so boring. So when it comes to your brand, do not be that person. You want to think big picture, right? So imagine you're in an airplane and you're flying over your brand and you're looking down, right? It looks different from up there. Your video should be about expanse, not about details. Unless you are making a documentary about your brand, no platform has time for your entire story, right? So you've got to pick and choose what's important.
You said not details, but what?
Expanse. Yeah. Seconds count. Okay, I worked with a company who wanted to start their video with, in 1925, we opened our doors, and in 1930, we opened 3 more locations. In 1970, we closed 1, but okay, you get the idea, right? We're seconds into this video, we're bored, and we don't know what they do. Yeah, okay? Do not do that. Don't be Aunt Edna with the vacation photos. You have got, I know you've got a lot to consider, right? Like we talked about all of these things, but now you've got to bring it all in and make it short and sweet. Let's see, where we go. I tell my clients this all the time. A video, especially a brand video, is not a brochure, not a menu, right? It is not a list of our services. It is the start of a conversation and hopefully an emotional connection, right? And the goal is that next step, that next action that you want them to take, right? It's not like, I offer 20 different things and they're all so awesome, and you could do this, or you could do this, or you could do this other thing. No. Pare it down. What is the one thing that you want them to do? And it can be really simple. I want you to like my page. I want you to follow me. I want you to click learn more, right? What is that action? It could be, I want you to walk in the door. It can be a multitude of different things, but know what that one thing is and drive that. So, you guys, I threw a lot at you, I'm sorry. Usually by this time, people are like, I don't want to do this myself anymore. Yeah, okay. Here's the thing though. Hopefully some of you are still thinking that you can. Even for those who are overwhelmed and don't want to, if you're asking, like, can I do it myself? The answer can and should be yes. Why aren't you? Okay? I have to have very real conversations with my clients who still come to me. It's kind of bizarre in 2024, and they don't have a big online presence yet, right? One professional video is great, but it's probably not going to revolutionize your business overnight, right? A couple years ago, everyone would come and they'd be like, I want to make a video that goes viral. Okay, cool, so do I. It's not that easy, right? It's not a one and done thing. Unless you're continuing to engage with your audience, that one professional video is going to get lost, right? It's going to be at the top of the feed, everybody's going to like it, and then a week from then, what? Unless you're continuing to engage, it's over. The average business posts 18 videos a month. That's crazy, 18 videos. Now, they're not 3-minute videos, right? They're 60-second videos or 5-second videos, but they're still posting. They're continuing to engage. I will do marathon days with my clients and shoot like 20 to 40 videos in a day so that they have a month worth to post. Not everybody is ready for that. That's fine. A professional video should be a part of your plan. It should not be your only plan, no matter who you are, really. And also, if you've ever created, if you've never created video content before, don't start with a 2-minute brand video, right? Like, test the waters. Do some 5-second videos for Instagram. See what people are liking, right? Get creative, get playful. People will forgive a lack of professionalism. I think that's the big thing that stops people, right? You're like, is this a pretty video? Did I do a good job? People don't care if it's interesting, right? If what you do is interesting, they're gonna watch it and they're gonna love it. Behind the scenes videos are a great example, right? Because everyone expects those to be like kind of crummy, right? Because it's real and you're behind the scenes. Educational or informative videos are also great because they make you the expert. And quick meet and greet videos, I find that people have a really easy time with those, like, hey, this is who I am, or meet my team member. And those are really great because they build connection with your peoples. So if you are making videos yourself, here are some tips for how to make them look good. Again, without knowing exactly what you're filming, these are pretty general tips, but use natural light. Us pros are always chasing the light. Like, we film restaurants fairly often, and you'll see us like taking the dish and the chef and all the things out to the front of the house where the windows are, because kitchens are really dark and dank. But yes, there's nothing better than natural light. If you're filming a person, position them so that the natural light is hitting their face. It's beautiful. Or a product. Natural light still is great. Create depth and frame with intention. So the number one thing that I see that always irks me when people make their own videos is that they're like up against a wall, like, and it just makes me think, like, what are you hiding? Like, you didn't clean your room today. So frame with background, right? It puts the focus on you. It makes everything bigger and feels better. And you can decorate the background. Like, I see videos where there's like a plant growing out of someone's head. I give you permission to move the plant, right? Like, align your room with your brand, right? Do it with intention. And then finally, speak to your audience and be on brand, right? Maybe your brand is funny, maybe your brand is serious. Decide what that is and then stick with it, because you want your audience to be able to expect that from you. Yeah?
Do you have any resources if you wanted to try this yourself?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you don't have a space in your house, you don't have an audience. Are there places around the city that have space that, like, hey, I'm just going to use this for a couple hours and shoot?
Yeah, so there's co-working spaces all over town. There's probably other places that would be amenable to that. I mean, honestly, you can go and film a video almost anywhere. It's St. Louis. We're kind of like the Wild West, but.
Yeah, there's 2 resources that I can share.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. Let's see. Where are we? Okay. You guys, fun part here. So we have a little exercise. I call it the 5-5-5. So I want you to pair up into groups of 3 or 4. Yeah, we're going to make friends today. You have 5 minutes for pre-production. So I want you to choose your camera op. This should be the person who is most comfortable filming on their phone out of the 3 or 4 of you. Your director and your talent, if necessary. Then you're going to have 5 minutes for production, so for filming, right? And this is a small room, so like no one expects the audio quality to be amazing, but like find your little magical corner somewhere. And then you have 5 minutes to post your video. The only rule today is that it is a video and that you post it, okay? Oh, yeah, see, okay. And I want you to tag me in Startup Week so that we know when it goes viral. All right, I'm going to let you go in just a minute to do it, and then we're going to settle in. I'll let you know when the 15 minutes are up. 3 or 4? Yeah, it's good to have a director, okay? If you're not sure, guys, 1 sec before you huddle into your video. If you're not sure what to film, a tidbit of information that you've learned from Startup Week, that would be great. What else? A behind the scenes, like look where I am at today, but really like I would challenge you to make it about you and your brand, okay? Worst case, you can do a testimonial about Startup Week and how awesome it is, all right? And timer's on. How are you all feeling? Yeah? Traumatized, good. So for those of you who were saying like you were terrified to start, you've already done it, right? The hardest part is already over. It's less scary now. You're going to get better at it from here on out. Back up? Yeah? Okay. So for next time, I don't want to overwhelm you too much. Here are some apps you might want to try. Again, not knowing what you're filming, these are just some general ones, and I find that this is a really, really personal choice. If you want to feel cool and like a professional, Adobe Premiere Rush. So we edit in Adobe. This is the app version. It's just a mini version of the pro stuff. Filmora is great for a lot of different things, including if you want to like add captions and graphics quickly and easily. Opus Clip. So you mentioned that you're doing longer videos, and so did you. So you should both look into Opus Clip. It will repurpose a longer video. So if you've made an 8-minute video or something for YouTube, you can load it into Opus Clip, and it will automatically, using AI, translate it into multiple shorter clips designed for social media. Oh, wow. Yeah, it is pretty darn cool. Magisto, this is the simplest of the bunch, but even I still like it. Like if you're, say, at an event and you're like, gosh, I got to get an update out really fast and I just don't have time to edit it. Again, with the magic of AI, you can load in photos or videos, click the music, click the vibe, and it makes a little edit for you. It's not perfect. It's not how I would edit a video, but it gets the job done, right? And sometimes that's all you need. Finally, if you're looking for some inspiration, here are some brands that I recommend following. Lumi deodorant, again, a wonderful example of no rules, only guides. I love it. Their videos are way, way longer than what is recommended for any platform. Okay, you know. But they are dancing and singing about deodorant. So you stop and you watch it, and the next thing you know, you've ordered the deodorant. I did. Chipotle, they're really prevalent on TikTok. And their stuff is very meme-like, so it's very shareable, also really easy to create. Home Depot, their stuff is more geared towards testimonials. So it's like, here's this shovel, it totally changed my life. By the way, you can get it at Home Depot, right? So the focus is always on the product, not them. Marie Forleo, great example for service-based folks or solo entrepreneurs. She shares tidbits of information that make you trust her as an expert and someone that you might want to pay a lot of money to have coach you. And finally, STL.org. It's our host today. If you don't already follow them, you definitely should. They do videos. Their Spotlight series is amazing, and they're highlighting small business owners locally in the community. And you cannot watch one of their videos and not fall in love with that business owner and be like, I have to buy their cake witch, or I have to buy this wooden chair, whatever it is, because the video is so beautiful and you have this emotional connection with that person after you watch it. Okay, what else? If this was a total overload of information and you just want to chat through what might work for your brand, I am happy to have a chat with you. It is not a sales call, I promise. I hate those. We can just chat about your brand and what you think might work. So that's it, guys. We covered a lot. I'm happy to stick around and answer questions. We can do a Q&A, or you can just come up to me and chat. But please start posting more videos. And feel free to get creative, right? And honestly, like, tag away. Like, I'd love to be tagged so that I can check out your brands and follow them. All right, yes?
Do you offer the service to where you go through, if we already have a lot of recorded content, to try to create, like you said, you do like marathon videos, not necessarily saying that many, but do you look at the content that we have and like go through it with us to like create videos instead of filming new ones? Do you allow that service?
Yeah, so I wouldn't necessarily call it a service, but definitely as part of like when we initially chat, I will go through all of your stuff and we can talk about like what's working and what isn't working and how to do more of that. Or, yeah, sometimes clients will just provide us all of the raw footage and then we'll re-edit into stuff. Yep, for sure. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes.
One more.
One more and then we're done. Bye, folks.
I was just wondering if you had like experience with like crowdfunding like platforms and that kind of stuff, and because I feel like I'm in the midst of trying to create like an Indiegogo or Kickstarter campaign, but like those video is such an important part of those because that's like how you know what I mean, tell about yourself. And,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I have another friend who's a filmmaker who used Kickstarter, and we helped him make his video, and he funded his film that way. So bits of experience. The trick, I would say, with Kickstarter or Indiegogo is that most people who are using it don't have funds on the front end, right? Like you're trying to raise the funds. Exactly. And so a lot of professional crews don't get those gigs because there's no money on the front end. So I know a lot of like one-man bands who have done those. But again, the ones with videos are far more successful, right? So.
Awesome.
Thank you all.
Let's give a round of applause to Rhea.
Thank you.